Welcome to the Drew Yari Show.
Hello?
On safari. What's going on, dude?
What's going on, man?
Not much, man. Just kind of chilling out.
You had me worried there for a second. I was like, oh, shit.
No, I know I bounce around like a social butterfly sometimes, but I really do try to keep all my promises, man. I'm sorry about that.
No, I know you're a man of your word. I'm sure you weren't like, you know what, fuck this Yari dude. So can you hear me? Am I coming through okay?
Yeah, you're coming through fine, man. How am I sounding?
You sound like Mish.
Awesome.
I was gonna say, like, it's not like Sunday where I was like, it sounded like I was gargling marbles or something.
Oh, I don't know what that was. It was just a bad recording. I've heard that with other people, just these randomly bad recordings. So I don't know. It just happens.
Yeah, it's weird because, like, I remember the first voicemail I left, it was on my phone, and I sounded okay. And then this one, same thing, but I don't know what happened. So I think it might have something to do with, because, like, I didn't know that there was a time limit on recordings. And
it's 5 minutes.
Yeah, I was just talking. I'm like, yeah, so, and then it cut me off. I'm like, wait, what? Oh, fuck.
Yeah. Oh, it cut you off? See, that's not supposed to happen. It's a 5-minute time limit. I have the time limit extended because I have the gold premium plan for my fucking pipe. I know, right? So I try to give people a little more time and shit like that. I just think it was a bad connection because you didn't just come through. Like, it wasn't just noisy. It was also garbled. Like, you were going in and out. So I'm thinking that was like either a rough phone connection or speak pipe didn't grab you right, or it just happenstance, bro.
Yeah, more than likely. Because, like, I was listening. I'm like, oh, shit, I'm coming up. And then I just hear myself, and I have the wireless Beats headphones where, like, it blocks out all sound. And I just hear myself, and I go, fuck! I'm like, I hope I didn't wake anyone up. Because I was, yeah,
I'm amazed at how many people love those Beats headphones. You like those?
I've always been. Oh, actually, did I say Beats? Oh fuck! Yeah. I meant Skull Candies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've always been a Skull Candies guy. I used to have Beats, but I don't know. I wasn't really crazy about them. You know, I'm more of I'm a simple man with simple tastes.
There you go. That's fine. Beats are just so bassy. Like, they're almost distorting. Actually, not almost. They distort music, like to sometimes almost too much. Like, I can understand beats being great for like house music and fucking rave and, you know, hip hop and shit like that, and that's great. But beats sounds like shit when you're listening to like rock or alternative or, you know, anything a little bit more mellow, because it just distorts it. So God forbid if you're listening to an acoustic set on Beats, it's just whoa.
Yeah, because the Skull Candies I have, I think they work a lot better than Beats in my opinion, because when I had Beats, they wouldn't block out all noise. Right. And, you know, when I got these wireless Skull Candies, it's like, you know, all I hear is what I want to hear. I just hear the music or any video I'm watching, or, you know, Wrestling Suit, for example, whenever I'm listening to it.
Nice plug, thank you.
Yeah, that's shameless self-promoting. But, yeah, I guess we're already starting. Well, the question I was trying to ask before SpeakPipe, I guess, decided to say fuck you to me. You got maybe part of my question right. The question I was really trying to ask is more just like, it was kind of like half a question, half a suggestion.
Okay.
Where, like, you know, back in the day when they were, you know, bringing a new dude up to the main roster, they would show promos like, coming soon to Raw, you know, so-and-so. Or, you know, they did the same thing with Bray Wyatt. They did the same thing with Razor Ramon or CM Punk. You know, they don't do it with a lot of the NXT guys. I mean, now they're kind of doing it, but they're just really just showing these vignettes and having them debut in the back.
Well, it was weird too, because when they did that for like the recent people like EC3 and Nikki and everybody else, they shoved all 4 of them together for like 4 weeks straight. It was like vignette. And it's like, okay, it just felt very, we have to put these on the show at some point, guys. We're sorry we have to do this. Here's 4 of them. Shut the fuck up. You know?
Very true.
Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, you know, for example, whenever Finn Balor debuted, they just, you know, drafted him and said, he's going to wrestle tonight. Okay. Instead of just being like, you know, coming soon to Raw, Finn Balor. And they just show his background and him as the demon. You know,
even earlier than that, if you go back to the days of like Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon, you would have Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon. Like, let's say they were talking about Skinner, and which was a goofy ass character. Okay. But I remember like Bobby Heenan talking about like this trip to Australia, and Gorilla Monsoon was like, "You've never been to Australia." He's like, "Sure I have. That's when I met my good friend Skinner." And then they fucking went to the vignette of Skinner, and Skinner's talking about, you know, he's got a crocodile head in his lap and shit like that. But I mean, they actually integrated vignettes into part of the announcing, and then you would have the vignette. So now you were pumped up by the announcers selling it because Bobby Heenan's supposed to be an asshole. So you already had the gauge that, okay, well, this guy is supposedly a Bobby Heenan friend or somebody that Bobby Heenan likes, which means I'm not supposed to like him. I'm supposed to think he's an asshole. And then you have the vignette, and the guy Skinner comes through and shows his like, you know, his personality through his vignette, and they have him out in the outback and shit like that. And then you go to the ring. Sometimes I don't know if they immediately put him in the ring, but you know, more often than not, they would also do this right before they debuted as well. You know, like there was a lot more process to it. There was a lot more thought behind how to debut someone. And it's like right now, it's just a machine.
Yeah, because like, you know, the company expects everybody to watch NXT. Right. You know, it's like, you know, not everyone watches NXT because like I barely watch NXT. Like I watch the takeovers, but you know, at the same time, I'm up to date with what's going on. You know, but I don't watch every NXT show, which I probably should. But you know, the common, you know, WWE fan, they don't know who Adam Cole is. They don't know who Aleister Black is. They just know who, you know, they now know who Finn Balor is. They know who Baron Corbin is, unfortunately.
Well, part of this also goes to the way that the network is kind of structured. Like, let me ask you, I imagine you have the network, right?
Yes.
Okay. What do you watch on the network mostly?
I mean, I watch the takeovers, a lot of the network specials, like, you know, if they're airing like a 24 documentary.
Okay.
That's about it.
Watch the specials and pretty much the pay-per-views and the live events.
Yes.
I think that's a majority of people too. Like I watch the specials. I love the table for threes and stuff like that, but I rarely find myself digging into, you know, NXT. I rarely find myself digging into 205 Live. And it's not because I don't enjoy it. It's just because I don't know. It's already so much wrestling on Monday and Tuesday that when I go to the network, what I really like to do, my favorite thing to do, is go back and watch Raw from 2002. You know,
very, very true. You know,
I'm so silly like that. Like I'll go back and watch the old events because sometimes it makes me feel good to remember, man, I used to really love this fucking sport so much.
and then you just kind of go,
and I hate to do that because there's a lot of talented kids on the roster today that, you know, especially in NXT, that even me, Joe, and John don't highlight enough. And I don't mean that because of an ignorance level, but I mean that because it's just so hard to fit time in for them when there's other goofy shit going on, or when you want to just watch wrestling that makes you feel good. So there's so much frustration in wrestling right now, overall as a whole. You know, and
yes,
like EC3 debuted yesterday, technically in the ring. I think that was his first match on the main roster against Dean Ambrose, and I understood it. It made sense. It was fine. I think it was really. It shows you how poorly of a job though that WWE did building him up, because the only real experience that we had was the 2 minutes before that when he was on Alexa Bliss's fucking set. You know, other than that, we had vignettes. And so when it was Dean Ambrose and EC3 in the ring, the crowd was confused. They were cheering for Dean Ambrose because they didn't know enough about EC3. The announcers did a piss poor job of really trying to put EC3 over. And that's the other thing too, is the announcing. See, I'm just really picking it apart. Like, the announcing team should be more story driven. They should be like, Corey Graves used to be this way. I don't know what happened. I don't know if Michael Cole got in his ear or Vince McMahon or whatever. But the thing I loved about fucking Corey Graves that he doesn't do anymore is he used to tell a story about the people in the ring, which was very old school. And I don't think people really respected the guy. Like, they didn't like the fact that he looks like a goof. He's a goofy looking dude. But I thought it was ingenious, the fact that he's picking up lessons that he got over the years from, like, the Bobby Heenans, like he got over from the Piper, like he got over from Jerry Lawler, where he would pull apart these stories from these wrestlers, whether they were true or not. I think 90% of them weren't true anyways, but they were character building. And they allowed Bobby Heenan, they allowed fucking Heyman, they allowed all these guys to build characters of these wrestlers that the fans didn't know about. And it's like they pulled that away, and I was gonna say, like, because supposedly that's why Matt Stryker got booted off the announce table with Lawler and Cole, because he was trying to do the same thing. Yes.
Because Matt Stryker's kind of a goof too, but he wasn't a bad announcer. He was actually a pretty good announcer, and he
only threw me when he started talking about God in the announce table. I forgot where he did that. He did. He started bringing up, like, Bible verses and shit, and I'm like, "What are you doing, dude?"
I don't remember that, but I was gonna say, like, he ended up, being shipped down to what's it called, ECW, WWE's ECW with Josh Matthews. No, wait, not Josh Matthews. Who's the other guy? Todd something.
Todd, you said?
He's on ESPN.
Justin Roberts. Was it Justin Roberts? No.
It was a white guy, glasses. He used to do the Bite This. He used to do Bite This.
Oh, why am I blanking? I know who you're talking about now. Why am I blanking on this?
He'd always do a lot of vignettes with Edge in the back. Todd Grisham. There you go. Yes. Him and Todd Grisham were in WWE's ECW, and, like, not that this really means anything, but they ended up winning, like, an award for Announce Team of the Year.
Did they really?
Yeah, when they had their Slammies, when the Slammies actually, meant something. And by something, I mean something, right, before it became a popularity contest. And, going back to what you said about Corey, when he started out, because I remember when they did the draft before it became a shake-up, he was very, very good as an announcer, and I don't know what happened.
Yeah, well, I mean, him and Tom were great together, and that's another thing too, is that nobody points that out. Tom has become a complete robot.
Yeah,
I can't help but think that that's people yelling in his ear, because before, in the early days when fucking Tom, sorry, I didn't mean Todd, Tom, when it was Tom and Corey Graves up there together, they were hilarious. They had a buddy cop thing going. Like, Tom was clearly always the straight man, but he had personality about himself. Like, he would make a joke or Corey Graves would pick on him, and then he'd throw, like, a real quick jab right back. And then they would still call the match, and it was fun to listen to. Like, there was chemistry there. Mm. And WWE did something where they stopped that chemistry because people were enjoying it. Like, I don't know why these things happen. Like, maybe there was something that happened in the back between them. I don't know. But it's so weird how there are so many hints. And that's what WWE is. They are hints of greatness that as soon as you recognize them, it's gone.
I've noticed that happens on the main roster, because when it's like something that's like, NXT, or whenever they did the Cruiserweight Classic, or the Beast from the East, the ones that Vince doesn't control, where it's just Triple H. I'm assuming it's Triple H that does the non-Vince shit. Yeah, the announcing seems a lot better. It seems more crisp. It seems interesting. It keeps me interested in the match.
Well, relaxed too. The guys don't seem like they're underneath a fucking, they're sitting on a piece of glass.
So would you say Triple H is a lot more lenient, with a lot of the talent, when Vince isn't, constantly micromanaging it?
that's the estimation, but I'm not even sure if that's legitimate. Like, I mean, obviously Triple H takes a lot of credit for, NXT, but you have to also look at all the players around that aren't involved with SmackDown and Raw. I don't think it's just Triple H's decision. I think Triple H is more lenient when it comes to a lot of things, because the reality is, as much of a promoter as Vince McMahon is, Triple H is still a wrestler. He was still one of the boys, whether you like him or not, or you think he's arrogant or not. He still went through the same shit that all these guys are going through. You know what I mean? So he understands on a personal level. And that's what I've always believed, that at least he understands what some of these people go on a personal level.
Yeah, because what I've read is that he actually still goes through it, even as the COO or whatever his title is. He. I don't
know about that. I mean, he's so far up there now, he doesn't really go through that. Come on, who's gonna give Triple H shit?
I'm talking about Vince. I'm talking about Vince giving him shit because, as much as we want to give Triple H credit or don't give him credit, or and as much as he wants to come out and say, hey, I want wrestling to get better, A, B, C, and D. It's still Vince's company, and I read somewhere that Triple H is legit pissed off at Vince and how he handles a lot of the NXT call-ups.
Yeah, I'm sure he is, because fucking Vince doesn't understand the characters that Triple H has been building, or Triple H's people have been building down in NXT. That's something that we've all noticed for a long time, that as soon as you get called up to WWE, whatever fire you had in NXT is gone. To the point where not just me and you, genuine fans, just regular fans are like, please don't call them up. Please. You know what I mean? Like, that's how depressing that is that people's characters are so well managed in NXT, and their personalities get to grow on such a very natural level that when they come up to WWE, it's like they're almost wrapped in plastic and expected to perform.
I would say keep the performers we actually like on NXT and take the scrubs up to the main roster.
Well, technically, they should just get rid of the scrubs, because I think they have 350 people signed under contract right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're right.
and that's a Triple H thing too, is he wants more people. And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, no, dude, no, it's, and the sad thing too,
go ahead.
So many people, and the sad thing too is that once upon a time, and I was one of the people that was totally in favor of this, and I thought it would work. But like NXT UK, I think I've watched 2 shows, honestly, and the only reason I watch is for Rhea Ripley, because I think she's an amazing badass.
I'm a fan of her, and I hate to be biased, but she actually got her training down here in San Antonio.
Oh, did she really?
Yeah, she was here at RCW, River City Wrestling.
Oh, okay. All right.
And I didn't even know that until I saw a news headline, San Antonio grown wrestler wins WWE title. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, that's very cool. I love Rhea. I think she's definitely a future women's champion for the main roster.
Oh, yeah.
I see it. She's got the size. She's got the speed. I don't know how long they plan on keeping her in NXT UK. I almost think that she's almost ready. Like, I'm kind of surprised she's not in the company now, but now that it's coming around to WrestleMania and the Fox deal's coming around, I wouldn't be surprised if they hold her back just a little bit longer. Not as a screw you to her, but as a surprise to everyone else. You know what I mean?
I was going to say, there's so many people in developmental that I'm just like, what are they doing there? They need to be on the main roster already. Like, you said Rhea. Yeah. Matt Riddle's another dude who needs to be on the main roster, because there's nothing for him in NXT.
I think they're going to do it after Mania. Because that's what happens after Mania. A lot of people pop up. Because after Mania, what usually happens is you have about a month of fallout from Mania, and then we start going into the down season. And the down season is usually when new people debut. It's when titles get switched over to see what happens on other people. Like, this is kind of the formula that WWE does. They'll try out brand new tag teams, new tandem tag. Like, that's the experimental time. Pretty much anything from June to October is experimental time. which is cool because you actually get to see some interesting stuff. You'll see great matches too that people will completely forget about because they happen in the middle of the year when everybody's out. Because June, summers are getting ready right around the corner. Everybody's getting ready to go out. You know what I mean? Like ratings always seem to dip a little bit, of course. I mean, I can even tell you as doing a podcast for as long as we have, we even get less listeners during those months. And it's not because people don't enjoy us. It's just because we're doing shit. I mean, I'm talking about the live listeners, not the downloads, but
yeah. Oh shit, I forgot. I was gonna say, like, I've told you before, I always find myself liking the shows a lot better when it's not about wrestling, or when you guys talk about wrestling for maybe like 10 minutes.
Oh, I know. I do too. It really depends on what's going on. Like right now, the news has been really fucking depressing. I don't know. It's nothing but here's this Arctic snap, and then I'm like reading all these sad stories about people dying all over the place. So I'm waiting for some of the silliness to come back, and silliness and the interesting news usually comes in the summer. I guess entertainment wise, there's some good news and stuff. So me and John, we do the side salad on Wednesday, and we're talking a little bit about Legion 3, the final season.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, they cast a Professor Xavier.
Oh, did they? There's actual news on that.
Yeah, it just happened like literally yesterday. It's and you're a Game of Thrones guy, right?
Yeah.
They cast the guy who played Dionysus' brother in the first season.
Dionysus.
I'm fucking butchering her name. Oh. The Dragon Lady. I call her the Dragon Lady.
Oh, Khaleesi?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, that's cool. I'm down with that.
Yeah, the first season I really liked, and because it was like when
you're trying to say Daenerys. I got you. Okay.
Yeah, I'm bad with names. Yeah,
Dionysus. I'm like, that was a book, wasn't it?
I was like, I hope I say this name right. But yeah, Legion. The first season I really liked. I thought it was fucking nuts and crazy and insane, and that's why I loved it. Yeah. And the whole time I'm like listening in. Anytime I hear an X-Men reference, I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
And then unfortunately, I haven't watched the second season, but I will. I have it on my queue.
Second season, there's a little bit of waddling. I want to say the first few episodes feels like it's waddling. But if you enjoyed the first season of Legion, then you know that all the confusion that you have will be clarified by the end of the season, because they really like to put the entire series out of comic book storyboard timeline. They totally screw it up, but they do that for various reasons, So like pieces start fitting in and making more sense at the end of the second season. And the second season, the ending was so rough that a lot of people boycotted season 3. There was just a lot of backlash. Well, it was dark. It was a dark fucking ending. And the hero, without spoiling it, the hero became the bad guy. Okay. And he became an unforgivable bad guy now. So now, to put it nicely, David, who everybody's been following his stories and stuff like that, people that read Legion in the comic books the storyline is different, but they would have expected this coming. Because if they read, the comic books, you realize that he was unstable. He was always crazy. One minute he was with the X-Men, the next minute he wasn't, so seeing this actually take place and how they catalyst or how they brought in the change in David was really dark and really sad. And I kind of understand why people were angry, but I don't understand the boycott. I think that's silly. Every good story needs a climax or a downturn, or, there's arcs to the story that really build. And that's what season 2 is. It's the rubber match. That's the best way to put it. It's the fucking rubber match. The bad guy won in the season 2. And so season 3, John and I were talking about it a little bit yesterday through just Messenger and stuff. And, found out that season 3 is the final season. And I'm like, wow, I thought season 1 and 2 were great. It got so much positivity. Overall, it was watched. It bought. People bought the merchandise. People are clamoring for more. And I just thought it was odd that they're going to end with season 3. And me and John were joking, like, well, they've made Xavier. They've made Xavier, references before. I wonder if Xavier will be in season 3. And you just kind of confirmed it for me because I didn't say that to anybody else. And I know people were thinking about it, but if they just cast somebody for Xavier, that's kind of fantastic. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, when I saw the guy who's playing him, I was like, the kind of nerd in me. I was like, why don't they just cast Patrick? What's his name? Patrick Stewart.
Oh, he's so old though. Dude, don't get me wrong. I love him, but I think he's got to be close to done with, No,
I know. It's just the nerd in me, because, I remember he was on one of those talk shows with the guy who plays David, Dan Stevens. And he kind of made a little insinuation. I might be showing up on Legion pretty soon. And the whole place went fucking nuts. And I'm like, Are you fucking kidding me? And then I'm like, it probably won't happen. It's kind of like with Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Where, a lot of these news sites, want to say, is Hugh Jackman showing up in Avengers Endgame as Wolverine? It's like, well, he's kind of close to 50, and, when you get to a certain age, you can't be pumping iron, the way you used to. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. If I saw Hugh Jackman show up for like 5 seconds, I would go fucking nuts.
Yeah, no, you're right. It'd be totally badass. Although I don't think he makes as much sense as Patrick Stewart showing up as Xavier.
True.
I mean, you got to have Xavier in there.
True.
Because that's just the moment when they meet is going to be fucking epic. So I don't know. I mean, I'm really looking forward to it. And my whole thing is, man, this is probably one of Fox's biggest commodities that hasn't gone to Disney, that hasn't been bought out by Disney. And it's like, you guys are really letting this go? Like, you're literally letting go of one of your last lifelines? I'm like, okay.
It's probably it's probably like the only decent X-Men property you have going on right now.
Yeah. Well, right. Because it's not fucking touched by that Disney stink.
Well, I was going to say, because, like, honestly, I keep forgetting there's an X-Men movie coming out this summer.
There's a new one?
Yeah, there's Dark Phoenix.
Oh.
And then New Mutants, which supposedly it's coming out on Hulu and not being released in theaters.
Well, then there's The Gifted. I mean, The Gifted is out on Fox, too. But I think that's
I heard John talk about that show a lot, and I haven't even given it a chance. I probably will one of these days, but I don't know.
John got through the first season religiously. I mean, we both got through the first season, and the first season was okay. And the second season has been just building up on my DVR. So, you know what I mean? Like, and I thought I enjoyed it. I thought I enjoyed the characters in season 1. And I mean, it's obviously a nod to X Factor and a couple other groups in there too, but, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It just, something's missing. Something's completely missing. Same thing with that. What was it? Oh gosh. What was the one that had Ramsey in it that they literally canceled after like 3 episodes?
Ramsey. What the fuck?
Yeah. It was a superhero movie, or a superhero TV show for the Marvel. It was one of the mutant stuffs.
Oh, Inhumans. Inhumans?
Yeah, the Inhumans. That got scrapped fast.
Yeah, because that was actually supposed to be a movie, and then they turned it into a TV show, which
right.
I didn't watch it, but it turned into a dumpster fire from what I heard. Like,
it was really bad. It was rough. Cloak and Dagger is another one that nobody really talks about. I've gotten through about 4 episodes. I think I had like 2 or 3 more left. So far it's okay, but they've really, because I think it's on like ABC Family or whatever the fuck, Freeform.
Freeform, yeah.
Yeah, and it really feels like a tale of boy and girl, and boy and girl will be together. And it's like, yeah, technically Cloak and Dagger and Marvel was a lot like that, but I think they were more connected by their powers than they were connected about being boy and girl. Like, I know there was a point where, Cloak fell in love with Dagger and stuff like that, but that was in the comic books, and we're talking in the 80s. Like, they're pulling that shit out in the 80s. So this revamping on Freeform on the Disney Network Plus or whatever you want to call it, I don't know.
I haven't finished the season yet. I mean, so far it's okay. The only one I just kind of fell off quickly was Runaways. And
I didn't even give that a chance. I'm such an asshole. I'm supposed to, but I didn't.
No, you're good. But I don't know. Like, I don't like this whole I don't like the concept of we're moody, degenerate teenagers and we hate society. It's like,
Make sure you have enough water. Fuck you, Mom. I'm anti-authority. My body doesn't need water.
Oh my.
Dear, make sure you wear an extra coat. It's cold outside. No way, Mom. I'm warm because I'm full of anti-authority.
Son, you're diabetic. Don't forget to take your medicine. Fuck you, Dad, you fucking asshole.
That's what it is. And it's so, you're right. It's kind of silly with the teenage shit. It's like, oh my God. You know?
Oh man. But, yeah, they're doing a second season of Runaways, which I'm just like, okay. It's weird. It's weird, like, whenever I see a third or second season of a show I've never heard of, I'm like, I've never even heard of the first one.
Right. Yeah, there was something they were pushing during the Super Bowl. I forgot what show it was. They were pushing a Hulu show, and they're like, yeah, it's going into its third season.
Oh,
like,
what? Was it Handmaid or whatever it's called? Handmaid
It might
Tale?
have been. Yeah. I'm like, dude, I've never even heard it. Like, my friends don't even talk about this fucking thing, and it's already in season 3. Like, I'm not even talking about just the dudes. I'm talking about girls too. Like, the women I know don't even talk about. Like, nobody talks about this, and this thing got funded for 3 seasons already. It's just silly. Yeah, I don't know, but.
Did you would you happen to catch that really quick Avengers Endgame trailer?
No, I haven't. We were going to actually watch it on Wednesday.
Yeah, it's basically just really quick because, like, I heard it was going to come on, and because we were at my girlfriend's brother's in-laws' place watching the game, and I look down and then I look up and I just see Cap. I'm like, holy fuck, it's a trailer. Yeah. And it's basically just 20 seconds, and it kind of shows you, I guess, stuff they didn't show you from, like, the first trailer, where it's just like, okay, it's like, you remember Rocket didn't die in the first one? Well, here he is. It's like, okay, there's Rocket.
Right.
And, New York is obviously, it looks like it's just fucked to hell.
They had another Miss Marvel trailer, too, so I saw that.
Let me ask you something. You guys sound like, it's not really a question, it's more just like a response. You and John, you sound like you're not really looking forward to that.
I'm underneath this stigma that it's going to be a huge feminists, women can do everything. And I'm a woman, so you're just a lowly man and grub worm and just.
But let me ask you something. Does it have to be, though?
Oh, no, it absolutely doesn't have to be. And that's the problem, is that, I mean, if you read the actual comic books, it's not like that at all. But I just have this feeling, because that's a lot of the things that Marvel and Disney have been that they've been pushing that narrative very hard. These left-leaning narratives on things that don't deserve it. I mean, come on. They fucking saturated Star Wars and Ghostbusters with political leans. And it's like, neither of these need that, and I have no faith that they won't do the same thing with Marvel, and especially with a female, protagonist. I see that being the exact same thing again, and that's what worries me, is that it's going to be more about this political agenda as opposed to enjoying another Marvel character that had a great run in the comic books. Matter of fact, one of the cool things I saw that popped up was that there's talk of Moon Knight getting his own.
Yes, I saw that, and as you can see from my avatar, I fuck with Moon Knight. I love Moon Knight. It's weird because, like,
how do you feel about that? Because you know what, I have a feeling that you're looking at this the same way I looked at the Punisher series coming out.
I hope it doesn't end up the same way. Because, and I love the Punisher. When I talk about my top 5, Batman, Punisher, Moon Knight, Wolverine, and Cap. Those are my top 5.
Yeah.
I love Moon Knight because, and it's weird. When it comes to, the comic book characters, I read the comics second, and then I find out about the character first, if that makes sense. Because, growing up, I wasn't too big into comics, and then as I got older, I started reading more comics.
Yeah.
And did you ever play the Marvel Ultimate Alliance games?
No, I really didn't.
Yeah, it's basically kind of like almost a Secret Wars type of game where you have every Marvel character under the sun. And I remember playing the first one, and I saw Moon Knight. Who the fuck is Moon Knight? So I started playing with him. I'm like, this is a pretty badass character. So that's when I started reading more of the comics. The recent one I read is when he's wearing the all-white suit.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, where he's called Mr. Knight, and then when he actually goes out, and starts kicking ass, he's Moon Knight.
Right.
So I hope the show is
the Batman thing going a little bit, but I mean, it's kind of like they took Azrael and Bruce Wayne and they put them in the same body. Is sometimes how I look at how they've developed Moon Knight, especially with the Mr. Knight kind of thing, because he has that craziness that Azrael did.
Yeah,
obviously he's the that fucking demon. I forgot the skeleton guy's name or whatever, but he sees his conscious or whatever. In the same way that Azrael was kind of always talking to Saint Dumas. He was always answering the fucking the guy who ran the river Styx in hell, So it's that kind of craziness. But then you also have the unlimited money, not unlimited, but the wealth. You have the prestige of the Bruce Wayne character, but then you also have this divided personality that is Moon Knight. That drives him to right these wrongs, so I'm not trying to compare the two. Batman is an all-time classic. And the fact that there are other comic book characters that have even taken nuances has always been a good idea to me. But Moon Knight is a whole different animal in certain ways too, though, because he's far more savage. Has no problem. Well, he has a problem killing, but he's killed. So, yeah,
Yeah, they've always said about Moon Knight, he's basically Batman, but with issues. Far more issues, because, you'll be reading a comic and you see him, talking to 2 other people, and then he goes out into the real world. He's, with his family at the movies, and they're like, are you having a conversation in your head? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I hope the show is good. The Punisher has been... what can I say? It's been very...
It's not a bad show. And I keep telling people that, people that are diehard Punisher fans...
No. Here's the thing. I agree with a lot of what you say, and you kind of hit the nail on the head when you and John were reviewing it, the recent season, where, you look at John Bernthal. When he's the Punisher, when he wears the skull and he's out there fucking shit up, he's awesome. He's amazing. Yeah. When he's Frank Castle, it's like, ugh... It's boring. Yeah. It's boring as shit to watch. He's
not a good Frank. He's not a good Frank. He's a great Punisher, not a good Frank.
He's talking to Curtis or the girl, and he's just I'm just we get it, dude. Your family died. Keep just
right.
Just go to another scene.
In the comic books, he doesn't want to talk about that shit. If you look
exactly.
In the comic book, he doesn't drop that every single time somebody comes in the room. He keeps that shit to himself. And even if somebody brought it up, he would still keep that shit to himself. It's a different Frank Castle and John Bernthal. John Bernthal does not understand the Frank Castle character, and that's not necessarily a fault on him. That's a fault on whoever's writing his script and everything else like that. Because I don't think that they understand who Frank Castle is. I think they get Punisher down just pat. They understand the anger, they understand the rage, and the determination, and the facial cues are fucking amazing. It's so weird. It's how can you love? I guess it kind of reminds me. I mean, I don't hate to go back to Batman again, but it's kind of like what's his name? Oh God, that did Batman. He was a great Bruce Wayne, but a horrible Batman.
Christian Bale?
No, before Christian Bale.
Val Kilmer?
No.
George Clooney?
Yes. George Clooney was a great Bruce Wayne.
Oh, yeah.
George Clooney was a horrible Batman.
Yeah, because like he's talking as himself as Bruce Wayne. Then when he gets into the Batman, suit, he's just like, "Hi, I'm Batman."
Right.
It's like, "Hi, I'm Bruce Wayne." It's like, what the fuck?
So horrible.
And you know what? With Christian Bale, he was a good Bruce Wayne, but I don't know.
I thought he was okay. Yeah, he had some pluses. Yeah,
I still can't get past that voice though.
Where's Rachel? Where's Rachel?
Where is it? Where is it?
I wasn't loved as a child.
I'm not wearing hockey pants.
Where's Bane? His voice was funnier than mine. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, dude.
I'm Gotham's Reckoning. I'm a necessary evil.
Yeah, Bane was a trip. That shit was funny as hell.
Oh, man.
Gassed up, dude. Hi, guys. Listen to my wacky voice.
Would you like
burn down Gotham?
Would you like fries with that?
I would like some cheese and some butter.
Would you like to add extra jalapenos with your burger?
Oh my god, dude. Exactly.
Oh, man.
And not everybody was memeing it for, I don't know, years. Years that got memed.
Oh, man. Everything turns into a meme. Even the Punisher turned into a meme.
Yeah.
Like when he's constantly yelling Russo, they turn that into a meme. I'm not kidding.
Did they really? I gotta see that one.
There's a meme. I'll probably send it to you. I'll send it to you. But like, there's a meme where they show this scene at the end of the first Endgame trailer, where Cap and Black Widow see Ant-Man outside. Instead, they Photoshop Ant-Man with Punisher going Russo, and you just see Cap going, "Oh fuck." Oh man, but I don't know. I'm just thinking of more nerdy shit. I love that Civil War comic where Cap just beats the shit out of Punisher.
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird, though, too, because Punisher and Cap have gotten into it on a few occasions, and Punisher's made it very clear, which was a little weird to see in Civil War, but Punisher's made it very clear that even though Cap doesn't respect him, he respects Cap. And there was a couple of crossovers. I think there was one with him in Blood and Glory. It was a Blood and Glory back in, I want to say like 99 or whatever else like that, where Punisher was going to kill people, but because he was with Cap, he actually didn't. And it's like one of the few times that you ever see the Punisher really step aside. I mean, because he kills people because he gets rid of the scum that killed his family. Yeah. It was one of the few times that he fucking pulled back. And it's like, people don't talk about that enough, but I'm like, that's a pretty big fucking deal. The fact that Punisher stopped killing for Cap, period. You know, it's just, but there's little things like that are kind of awesome, you know, and I understand, you know, just the character seems like he's just a killing machine to most people, but it's not like that. Like there's subtleties behind the character that were completely missed by the TV series. There's character depth and character arcs that were just ignored or not explored with Frank Castle that, you know, you really needed somebody that understands this in order to perform that. So while I did not think that the series is bad, and I still don't think that the series is bad, it's not Punisher. Yeah.
It's funny. There's a point where you guys were reviewing, kind of made me laugh, where you were talking about, you know, John Bernthal as Frank Castle, and you just go, no, not right. And I'm just like, I can picture you like wearing glasses and having a notepad and just going, no, not right.
Yeah.
Not correct. No, this isn't how he does this.
I would never talk to anybody that's professional, you know, dealing with that, because I would be a complete cunt. I really would. And I know I would. But that's because I have such... Same with Captain America, although there's more liberties with Captain America because Captain America is a little bit more cartoony. Like Captain America, I mean, is my number one. Period. Yeah. No. But I understand people can take liberties with that character because it has been really cartoony sometimes. and other times Captain America has been, very straight-laced and very, important. But Captain America came from even the days with Bucky and the Howling Commandos. And there was some cornball shit that Captain America was a part of. Absolutely. Look, he's hanging out with the Wither. It's like, oh God. All right. But Punisher's always been dark. I mean, he started in Spider-Man. Like his very first debut issue was as an assassin to try and kill Spider-Man because Spider-Man was a criminal. And that was our introduction into Frank Castle, into the Punisher. And that character never changed. They did a crossover with the Punisher and the Archies. And the Punisher was still the fucking Punisher in the Archie comic books. Like, that character doesn't change. There's never been a point where somebody looks at the Punisher character and goes, oh, he's silly. No.
I was going to say, there's two different types of Punishers. There's, the Marvel ones, and then there's the Max ones. The Max ones, he's, 10 times more brutal and violent. The Marvel ones, he's, wearing the white gloves, and he's, killing aliens or bad guys or what have you. But, yeah, you're right. That's a character that you shouldn't try and make too animated.
Or friendly. He's not a friendly guy. He's buddy. Like, he tells everybody in this second season of The Punisher, he's telling everybody, he's like, yeah, don't tell my secret. I'm here at this trailer. Don't let anybody know. Oh, except for this person coming in. Oh, wait, except for that cop over there coming in. Like, it's like, dude, who doesn't know that you're living in this fucking trailer?
I was just waiting for freaking just a random ass person to pop up in the trailer, freaking Lamont from Sanford and Son or something. Who's this person? Who's this person? Hey, man.
What you doing in my seat, you big dummy? Get some Red Fox in there.
Just like cue the laugh track. But I don't know. I hated that kid so much. For the teenage kid.
Yeah, she was a tryhard.
I hate when they have to add the whole, I'm a sassy teenager, and I'm going to be with the Punisher, and I'm going to make fun of him and call him old. It's like, oh my God. Yeah. Just stop. It's like, why am I liking Agent Madani more than you? Like, come on. Well,
the reason is because they put this teenager in there who, first off, looks like she's 25 years old. Let's just put it like that. Well,
it's like Luke Perry in 90210. It's like, dude, you're like 30-something.
The dude has gray hair. No, he dyed it white because he's just that cool.
Hello, fellow teenagers. Can you tell me where I can purchase some pots?
Some marijuanas? Oh, my God. So they got this girl in there, and the premise, which really ruins it, is the fact that Punisher is this terrifying. He really is. He's a terrifying guy. And while Frank Castle can be a nice guy, because as you saw with the bartender, it's not the first time he's hooked up. Frank Castle got with a lot of the ladies in the comic book. So apparently he still has physical needs, even though his wife is gone.
Yeah.
But in the show, it would start off with him with the bartender. And that was cool. And that was understandable. And he had this little connection there. And it made him happy, and then he got snapped back into his war, which is exactly like the first few episodes were great. I'm like, oh, this is okay. They might fucking redeem themselves. Like, I literally went in to the second season going, okay, this is good. Okay, I can buy this. Oh shit, that makes sense. Oh fuck, that's sad. Cool, let's go. Let's keep going forward. And then they introduce the team, and no matter how terrifying he is, he's literally killing people in front of this teenage girl. But she's still so strong and independent that he doesn't scare her. He can't scare the truth out of her, even though he's killed like 30 some odd people. He's at the hotel. He's killing people. I'm not going to tell you my real name. Fuck you.
I'm a
this is my name. This is my home address. Right. This is my home address. Here's my social security number. I got some credit cards in my backpack. Get the fuck out of here. She's just that strong. Ugh.
Oh, my God.
People murdering other people in front of you to protect you at that. And you're still going to be like, no.
She just crosses her arms. She's like, I'm still not telling you anything, Mr. Punisher.
It's just such a. At that point, I'm just like, all right, we're done here.
Oh man, but yeah, the season. I mean, the season wasn't that bad.
No.
The show wasn't that bad to begin with, but I agree. There's it just seems like they hit a snag with the season because like it's kind of like the first season where they start off strong and then they have like a slow burn of like filler episodes and then it ends strong. I'm like, why not just have it strong the whole freaking series?
Well, you know what it feels like? This is one of those series that should have been a movie. It's weird. It's like usually as movies, we want them to become series if they're really good. This was one of the cases where I think they had to stretch the storyline out so thin that it became very transparent to the audience as well because they didn't have enough story for as many episodes as they had.
Let me ask you something. Why do you think they've never been able to make a good Punisher movie?
Because I don't think that anybody can act as well as the comic book has made him. I don't think, believe it or not, and I went back and into the archives a little bit here, but I think Dolph Lundgren was the only one that got it right.
We actually have the VHS copy of the Punisher. Dolph Lundgren. And you're probably going to hate me for this. I actually like Thomas Jane's Punisher.
Okay.
I liked his Punisher. Everything around him was crap, though. It was like Val Kilmer as Batman. He was good, but the whole movie was bad.
Well, you know what? He proved himself to be good to me. There was a 15-minute short, and I've talked about this a few times, that he funded with.
Yes. Was it Launcher Day or something like that?
Right, and they had the dude from, Hellboy and
Ron Perlman?
Yeah, Ron Perlman, thank you. And Ron Perlman played like the liquor store guy, the handicapped Vietnam vet, And this 15-minute clip, I mean, it was a little overboard with how they set it up, but it really did capture the essence that was completely missing in the movie. And I always felt like that was Thomas Jane's fuck you, the people that directed and wrote that movie, because his 15-minute version was better, was better than the whole Punisher movie.
Yeah, because, I still watch it from time to time, and, I love Kevin Nash as the Russian. That was funny. That was so fucking funny. John Travolta as the villain? No. Come on. What guy wanted to get in John Travolta's pants that fucking decided that fucking casting call? Oh my God, speaking of that, did you ever hear that story about Kevin Nash talking about John Travolta, coming on to him on the set of Punisher?
No, really?
There's it's like a 2-minute clip where he's on kayfabe commentaries with Sean Oliver.
Oh, okay.
And he's telling the story, and he's like, John Travolta comes up to him in the makeup, and he kind of rubs his shoulder. He's like, "You're an awfully big guy, aren't you?" and he's just like, "What the fuck?"
That's funny.
But yeah, it's just like, you want an intimidating, scary villain. Let's choose Vinny Testaverde from.
Right. It's just.
I'm gonna get the Punisher, and I'm gonna kill his whole family.
Did you say Vinny Testaverde?
What the? I'm just fucking up names today. What's that? Is that like a?
I just caught that. The fucking Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback from the 1980s. Holy shit, Drew! What a fucking pull that was. Jeez.
His name was like Vinny something. I don't know, but I'm missing up names.
Testaverde, that's great. Holy, I haven't heard that name since the 80s. Jesus.
This show is hilarious for all the wrong reasons.
Yes. Vinny Testaverde is coming on to Kevin Nash. Let's see what happens on 4th and 10.
I have to kill Vinny Testaverde because he killed my family. that damn quarterback.
I bet John Travolta was watching Magic Mike though after that, huh?
I'm pretty sure he was.
Yeah, Kevin, take off them clothes, Kevin.
He's like, hey, why is it when Channing Tatum does that, he's not gay?
Oh my goodness, dude.
Thomas Jane, I liked him. What's his name? I forget his name. Ray Stevens.
Okay.
The only credit I'll give Warzone this. It was maybe like a Punisher comic come to life.
Yeah.
because you had like the exaggerated violence. There was like a scene where he punches a guy in the face and his face explodes.
Right.
And
Jigsaw was done very well too. I thought it was very well. Like the actual makeup and the costume was actually a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, he didn't like have a few scratches on him and start crying. I'm watching it and I'm like, he's complaining, he's like, look at what the Punisher did to my face. I'm like, you look better than me still.
I know, right? I'm like, dude, girls would fucking drop their panties around you. What are you talking about? Jesus Christ.
Like, there's that fat dude on the bus. He's like, look at this
horrible.
fur.
I'm only a 9 now. You fucking asshole.
The Punisher destroyed my face. I'm hideous. And it's like, the Punisher's nose looks like a fucking banana. Come on.
Right.
Like, John Bernthal legit has had, like, nose surgeries over the years.
Oh, yeah,
it's
you
like,
could tell he's gotten his face mushed in a few times.
It's like, you look better than the Punisher, dude. Chill out. But, Warzone, it wasn't terrible, but...
It was cartoony. It was campy. Like, that one was forgivable to me. I would say that was probably my second favorite, honestly, out of all the Punishers, but because it was so cornball. Like, I know I just talked about how they're supposed to keep it serious and stuff like that, and they are, but at the same time, with the Punisher Warzone, that campiness was almost like, well, we can't make this serious because we don't know how to do it, so we're going to do the best with what we can and make this over the top. And it was kind of like, I almost respected that. I was like, okay, you guys know your limitations for whatever reason. Nobody can figure out the Punisher character. Nobody can get it down right. Let's just go ahead and make it campy.
Well, supposedly there was supposed to be a sequel to the Thomas Jane one.
Was there? I thought he bailed on it. Like,
well, what happened? Well, he actually did bail on it because the guy who actually did write Sons of Anarchy, Kurt Sutter, he was supposed to pen the sequel. And Thomas Jane didn't like the script, and he bailed on it.
Oh, okay.
And I think Barracuda was supposed to be in the sequel.
Ah.
And
interesting.
The Dolph Lundgren one, did they actually call him the Punisher in that, or did he actually like wear the skull, or what was that about?
It's been a long time since I've watched it, but it was a little bit different. I mean, like, a lot of people made fun of the fact that he's a motorcycle. And the leather jacket and stuff like that. And he doesn't use the skull. Other than having skulls on the end of his knives, you didn't know he was the Punisher at all. And he had it literally opens up with him butt naked in a fucking yoga position, like cross-legged and shit like that. Like, so, I mean, it was a different aspect of the Punisher. And obviously, I think it was technically one of the first Marvel movies made. I don't know if it was the first, but I know it was, because I know that there was like Spider-Man and Incredible Hulk before the Punisher movie came out and stuff like that. But I thought I remember reading some kind of like trivia stat that it was one of the very first Marvel movies made. And it was right. It was savage. He was brutal. He killed fucking mobsters. He killed ninjas and shit like that. Like the way that the character, the way that Dolph, and to be fair, out of everybody, a young Dolph Lundgren with black hair really looks like Frank Castle. Go back and look at some of the images. Like, out of everybody casted ever for that fucking role, he's the only one that looks like the comic book. And aside from that, the storyline was very violent and it was very tight. Like, it wasn't over the top. There was no long end to it. It was literally just here, watch Dolph Lundgren kill a bunch of people that are bad guys. And that was the fucking movie. And it started the way it ended, Dude,
my girlfriend is in love with Dolph Lundgren.
Really?
Because, yeah, she's a little older than me, but she's always had a thing for Dolph Lundgren. Like, to this day, she still does. And I don't blame him. I don't blame her, because he's actually aged a lot gracefully than mostly everybody that he worked with in the 80s. Like, you look at Stallone, and I love Stallone, but Stallone looks like he can't open his mouth all the way.
Yeah, he's a little rough. That's from all the drug.
And then, Van Damme, same thing. He looks like he can't blink right. And then, Dolph Lundgren looks like and Dolph Lundgren just, I guess he did the right thing. And it's weird because he's actually more qualified as a scientist than Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Is he really? I didn't even know that.
Like he actually had, like he's actually like before he became an actor, he has like a PhD and he has like a bunch of PhDs and something. Hold on, let me look that up real quick.
Yeah. I don't even know. I mean, I'm not knocking the guy. I've heard him in interviews. He's always sounded very, intelligent, and like he comes off very well in interviews. Very well spoken. But I didn't realize that he had some degrees in things. So
yeah, I'm trying to look it up. For some reason, it's not coming up. But Dolph Lundgren degrees. Come on. All right, I think I found it. Okay, he has a master's degree in chemical engineering from the University of Sydney.
Wow.
He was the recipient of a Fulbright scholarship at MIT.
Wow. Really? Right. God damn.
There's more. He had BS Chemistry, Washington State University, BS Chemical Engineering, Royal Institute of Technology, Stockholm, a Master's in Chemical Engineering, University of Sydney, and Fulbright Scholarship recipient at MIT.
Jeez, dude, yeah.
So he's a lot more qualified than Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Right. Like, that's kind of amazing. Especially to get a fucking a ride from MIT. Damn.
Yeah.
That's wild. Like, I wonder what the purpose was behind that. Like, I wonder what drove him into chemical engineering like that.
I mean, I guess it's like, and this is kind of like the fallback answer. Like, you needed something to fall back on, But to choose that, like, you would almost think that if a guy that ends up in movies and stuff like that, and a well-built guy like that would have gone into maybe like health or health sciences or something like that, or maybe he would have gone into something involving, acting but no, he went into chemical engineering. That is a far left, like that. There's a story behind that. There's totally a story behind that. That's not just like, I need to make money when my acting career fails. Like, there's something behind that. That's interesting. I'm kind of curious now. That's pretty cool. Yeah, you hear a lot of stories about like, celebrities that'll retire from acting, or kind of they'll like temporarily retire from acting to go back to school because James Franco did the same thing. He I forgot which school he went to, and then Emma Stone went to college.
Lou Diamond Phillips makes like he has a farm.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like he's a farmer, but that's like his own choosing. He likes to farm, so. But that's the story there. It's like he did it when he was a kid, I imagine. So that's why he has a farm now. That's what I'm saying. Dolph Lundgren going into chemical engineering, that is a really odd thing to choose, not just to dabble in, but to get a fucking BA in. That's pretty impressive. So
what if he just did it just to do it? He's like, yeah, this is boring. I'm going to go kill Carl Weathers.
Behind the scenes, he's making like arsenic for everyone. I'm Dolph Lundgren. Try my arsenic.
He's like, the answer is hydrogen. Is this over? Because I gotta go kill some bitches in a movie.
What's that?
He's just like in class. He's like, yeah, the answer is hydrogen. Are you guys done? Because I gotta go play Red Sonja. Or what movie did he play? There was Red Sonja, and then there was a movie that was a part of.
Well, I mean, they always try to classify it as Conan, but no.
He did something. I'm trying to remember what the fuck it was. Was he in Red Sonja?
I don't know. Let me pull up I'm going to pull up the movies real quick. Let's see. Rocky, Johnny Mnemonic, which was woof. Universal Soldier was good. I liked Universal Soldier. He was good in Expendables as well. I enjoyed Expendables. I know a lot of people don't, but it's all right.
I like him because, like, there's a part of me that enjoys those ridiculous, boom, boom, shoot 'em up type movies. Right.
There's a little campiness to it, but it was all right. I mean, I didn't go in thinking that this is going to be, Shakespeare or nothing. First movie was A View to Kill. Oh, Masters of the Universe he did. That's right. He was He-Man.
Oh, there you go.
Red Scorpion might be the one you're thinking of.
Probably.
He did The Punisher in 89. And then Dark Angel, I don't remember that one. Showdown Little Tokyo. Universal Soldier, that was with, is that with Van Damme?
That'd be it, yeah.
Yeah. And then Johnny Mnemonic was the other big one.
He was in Aquaman.
Yeah, he was in Aquaman too.
He was on.
Yeah, he's kind of coming back up. Like I'm noticing that more and more people are like, "Hey, what about that Dolph Lundgren guy?" So good, yeah. Because in 2016, like it's like before that, he had like 1 or 2 movies here and there, and they were all flops. 2016, he literally had like 2 things he was in. 2017, it jumped up a lot because he was also on Arrow.
Yeah, I was about to say that he played like a big boss on Arrow.
Right. So I think that kind of revitalized him a little bit. That and the Expendables. So, yeah. Well, good for Dolph. Shit.
Yeah, as long as you can find work, I'm okay with that.
Oh, so what else is going on there, Drew?
Well, there's this bipolar weather here in San Antonio.
Oh, I completely feel you. We got that here.
Yeah, cause like it's in the 70s today, but it looks gloomy outside. I mean, you can see sunlight coming out, but it's supposedly supposed to rain here.
See, I don't mind the rain. I don't mind the gloom. I mean, last week it was negative 24 to negative 30. The wind chill is down to negative 70, negative 65. And it's absolutely ridiculous. And then, this week or today it's gotten a little bit colder, but yesterday was like almost 60 degrees. I'm like, you're literally talking 4 days away from each other. And yesterday really felt like it was almost 60 degrees. And all the snow is melted. All the snow, all the ice, all the shit that's been plaguing us is all gone now. What's the problem? Yeah, but not getting sick. You know that. Everybody's going to get sick. You go from that level of cold to warm and humid immediately right afterwards. I'm like, ugh.
Like when you got sick last week, was it, the flu or whatever you want to call it?
I don't know what the hell. I had a temperature. I mean, I know it's something. I had a temperature. I mean, I had a little bit of a fever going. I had the body aches thing. I had a real bad bathroom issue. Like I just couldn't stop going to the fucking shitter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was to the point where it was ridiculous. I would lay down, and 5 seconds later, I'd have to get the fuck back up. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like I'm salving my butthole because it was so. Not really, but yeah, it was a little rough. So I was just kind of laying out. I was just completely I couldn't do anything because I was supposed to do your show last Tuesday, and then I was supposed to do the DTKC Tuesday show because now they do SmackDown coverage as well. And Kevin wasn't sure if he was going to be there on Tuesday. And I'm like, Kevin, and I called up Kevin. I'm like, dude, you got to cover for me. I'm like, I don't call in favors often. I don't call in saying that I'm sick often, but I can't do the show today. I feel like an asshole, And he's like, oh, okay. So it's like, they understood, they knew. I'm not usually the guy that I'm the guy that people call to fucking fill in the slot. Rarely am I the guy that doesn't fill the slot. So this was one of those.
It's like good old Mish.
Yeah. But, yeah, so, I mean, it was just nasty. And then the wife got it and one of the kiddos got it after me. So it spread. It only lasted literally 24 hours, which is funny because I always think that the 24-hour bug, because when I used to work as a manager and stuff like that, and people are like, oh, I got a 24-hour flu. I'm like, yeah, sure you do. Shit. But this was literally probably my first remembered experience of having a legitimate 24-hour flu. And it was just 24 hours of just shitting my brains out and sweating and everything aches. It hurts to move. And then you put the blanket on you and now you're too warm. You take the blanket off and now you're too cold. It was just horrible. And then when it was done, I fell asleep and I woke up and I was like, okay, my head isn't foggy anymore. I can think straight. I don't feel like I'm burning up, and then, take a shower and clean that shit off. So.
Yeah, it's kind of going around here too. Maybe not as bad as yours, but was it my girlfriend's sister? She's always had bronchitis issues.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll be hearing her, almost coughing up a lung in her room, and she'll be going to the restroom and just coughing up. I'm not, and, Betty, I'm not gonna say her name, but my girlfriend, she's been getting sick too. She'll get a lot of headaches. And it's those headaches that, like, it won't just be on one part of your brain. It'll kind of seep right behind your eyes.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus, dude. I feel bad for it because those are the ones I drink vodka to because they hurt so bad.
I had those once, and it literally felt like my eye was going to pop out. It hurt so fucking bad. You know, and she's okay now. I mean, it still kind of comes and goes, but she's a lot better now. Everyone's a lot better now. I'm the only one that's like, hey, guys, want to go out? And they're like, I'm just like, I have energy to do everything. It's like, yeah, fuck you. But, so, I guess we can kind of end the show out with this final topic. Sure. Liam Neeson. He's promoting his new movie, Cold Pursuit, which, you know, is another one of those Taken type movies about revenge and blah, blah, blah. He proceeded to tell a true story where he talked about someone he knew, he didn't say who, that they were raped. He came back from an overseas thing and found out that somebody he knew was raped. And when he asked them, what they look like, she told him, or she or he, whoever they were, told him, they were black.
Right.
So he's telling this story where he's literally saying, I went up and down areas with a kosh. I'm not sure what that word means. Hoping I'd...
it's a bludgeon.
Okay, there you go. Hoping I'd be approached by somebody. I'm ashamed to say that. And I did it for maybe a week. Hoping and it says Neeson gestures air quotes with his fingers, hoping that some black bastard would come out of a pub and have a go at me about something, so that I could, another pause, kill him. And then he proceeds to talk about, it took me a week, maybe a week and a half to go through that. She would say, where are you going? I would say, I'm going out for a walk. What's wrong? No, nothing's wrong. And then ends it with, it was horrible, horrible. When I think back that I did that and I never admitted that, I'm saying it to a journalist, God forbid. And then literally the journalist says, holy shit. Right. And Neeson says it was awful, but I did learn a lesson from it when I eventually thought, what the fuck are you doing,
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, I mean, the mentality there, like, I understand, or no, I empathize with that rage that you feel when somebody you love and care about had something horrible done to them.
Yes.
Not thinking with your right mind. You're thinking with, this is my friend. I'm here to protect them. I would protect them as they would protect me. And so you will say and do horrible things in order to protect what's yours. So the people that are backlashing against him and saying he's racist and everything else like that are fucking dummies. They're fucking dummies, or they're liars. I think that a lot of them understand exactly where he's coming from, because there's nobody in this world, or at least no human in this world, that would not want to protect their friend or their lover or their family from harm.
Yeah, and even he said in the interview, looking back on it, I'm almost kind of disgusted with how I acted. I don't blame myself for what happened, for how I acted, but looking back on it, I'm just kind of like,
right?
Holy shit.
Yeah, he said it out of rage. Rage is a goddamn human emotion. It's one of the purest things about humanity, is our actual genuine reaction to horrible things. Our rage, our frustration, these are our fucking anger, our just this need to fucking rip and rend and shred and tear and hurt and maim and even kill. Like, these are all raw human emotions in response to something that was done wrong, either to us or to someone that we value enough that their hurting hurts us. And it's like one of the purest things that humans can do. It hurts me when my children, are sad and something happened to them. It hurts me. And it hurts me doubly so because, first off, it's children. Maybe children's a bad example because everybody will feel for children, but I'm going to use it anyways. Because as them being a child, they can't respond the way that I would respond to protect myself. And secondly, I wasn't there to protect them from this situation. So when Liam Neeson is having a go and saying, I fucking killed that guy, of course. And you know what the reality is? I know he's ashamed of it now, but if that fucking happened, Drew, he would have probably done it. He would have done, if he came face to face with the dude that brutally raped his friend, I guarantee you he would have lost his shit, because that's just the rage and the mentality that somebody has when they love someone.
Yeah. Cause like, you know, I am pretty sure you've had this where like you think of, you know, how pissed off you were in some points in your life, and it even scares you. You're like, holy shit.
Sure.
That's how I felt. You know, and with Liam Neeson, I don't blame him. I don't blame him for feeling that way at that time, because it's natural human. It's you're being a human.
Right.
And when somebody does something that pisses you off, that disrespects you, and especially when they hurt somebody you care about, you don't think of them as a human anymore. You think of them as a piece of shit.
Right.
You think of them as scum. You think of them as a monster. And in your head, you're thinking, I need to take this person out. They need to be dealt with.
The world frowns on that thinking, though, now. The world tries to make people feel ashamed and embarrassed for having raw emotion like that. And that's just the way that the world is changing. You know, you're supposed to be embarrassed for having these feelings. Ugh, you violent Neanderthal. you mouth-breathing knuckle-dragger, you.
It's kind of no. It's kind of like, and this is maybe different, it's like when Carrie Fisher passed away and Steve Martin made that tweet saying she was beautiful, and people just like hounded him. It's like, how dare you call her beautiful? And he had to delete his Twitter. It's like, what the fuck? Come on.
Yeah.
I literally just want to go up to every single one of these people and just say, shut the fuck up. And that, you know, I actually got a chance to do that because, like, when Kevin Smith had his heart attack last year, Chris Pratt, you know, left a really nice, you know, tweet. And Chris Pratt's kind of one of those, my dad refers to him as holy polies. Like, he's very religious, and I don't have a problem with it. As long as you're not in my face about it, I'm cool.
Right.
And he just said, hey, you know, thoughts and prayers with Kevin, A, B, C, and D. And I'm an atheist, and like I said, it didn't bother me, but like all these hardcore atheists came out of the woodwork. It's like, oh yeah, thoughts and prayers, Will. What about children that die? What about those thoughts? I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Horrible. That's fucking horrible.
I just messaged, I saw the people who did that, I just messaged them like, just shut the fuck up, please.
Wow. I didn't even know that fucking happened. Like, I didn't even know that Chris Pratt was a big religious guy, but that's just ridiculous on any level. Clearly, he was feeling sorrow for his friend. I mean, come on. Where did the common sense go? Where did the fucking common sense go? That's the problem I have with all this shit today. The common sense is fucking gone. He's not saying thoughts and prayers because he wants Kevin Smith to convert to Christianity or Buddhism or whatever. You know, he's saying thoughts and prayers because it's a nice way to say, I'm thinking about you. I'm praying for you. I'm not praying to God to convert you over to my religion. I'm praying to my God because I wish that something can alleviate your pain right now. Where did the fucking common sense go? God damn it, dude. This place just infuriates me sometimes.
That's why I never watch the news, because it's just always the same shit. Like, you know, that's one of my big rules on the show is I never talk about politics, because it's either I don't know enough about it, and then when I do think I know something about it, somebody pops up out of nowhere. Oh, yeah? Well, that's the media trying to spin it. I'm like, you know what? I'm good. I'm just going to keep my mouth shut about it.
Dude, I completely feel it. Joey is far more political than I am. John, too. John is far more political than I am. I kind of agree with you, though. I kind of stay away from it. You know, I'm just... not that it doesn't affect my life. Obviously, you know, it doesn't matter how much we don't listen to the news. Politics will affect our lives regardless, from our taxes to our construction on the roads, you know. But I think if I have a choice to opt out of all the political discussions, if I have a choice to opt out of all the bullshit and back and forth and the fucking left-leaning, you know, SJW nonsense and the super conservative fucking gun-toting right-wing nonsense, you know, I choose the middle. I choose to just keep fucking walking. That's where I'm happiest, because I think the one thing that the world is missing right now, or at least our world, is common sense. Just stop with the bullshit. Fucking smarten up. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's not the same world that I had in the 90s, And I mean, I guess, my parents are the same way. They looked at the 90s as like, what the fuck are you guys doing? You're burning places and you're listening to this crazy music. And,
that crazy rock and roll music?
So, I mean, I don't know what it is. It's just every single generation has had rebellion. I mean, obviously my parents had Woodstock and everything else like that. And, I had the grunge era and fucking industrial and shit like that. And I mean, there was different, like, Berkeley and Boston and everything else. Like, there's always been tragedies. There's always been riots. There's always been unrest politically from the youth, from the new generation that comes around. It's just, this generation feels like a bunch of idiots. And I'm not trying to insult millennials or nothing like that. I'm not saying all millennials, but there's just, not individually. I think individually, everybody's pretty fucking clear and they understand what's going on, and you can talk to people individually. And individually, millennials are much smarter than all of us. They're much smarter than the older folks. They're much smarter than my Generation X. They're much smarter than the baby boomers. But as a mass, as a group, they're fucking idiots. It's like they literally lose all of their brain power and immediately just fall into line and can't think for themselves. And they just become one just autonomous glob of shit. It is the weirdest fucking thing, because if you separate some of these people that, have all these crazy, or they act crazy about, what they're protecting, their social justice issues and stuff like that. You talk to them individually. They can really break it down for you a lot of the time. I'm sure there's some just complete fucking idiots out there. There's just idiots everywhere. It doesn't matter, but a lot of them can break it down. They can articulate exactly why they feel the way that they do. They can even respond with questions in turn that make you actually analyze what you've been thinking and maybe change something about yourself. But as a group, they're idiots. I don't know. It's just, there's no common sense. It's just Mob Rules is a bunch of fucking just Neanderthals. I don't know.
It's funny because, like, I fall into that millennial category because I was born in 89.
Sure.
I was born in 89, and I'm not trying to, like, sound like I'm, big shit or something, but I just remember being a little kid. I remember being in elementary school, and I never wanted to be around people my age. Like, right. If you ask anyone, they always say I always wanted to, go to the library and just kind of read and be on my own. I've always found myself flocking to people that are older than me. And, not to say I'm this intellectual superior. It's just, I don't know. I find being around, I'm more comfortable around older people. One of my closest friends, probably actually my closest friend, is my friend Andre, who's actually the brother of another one of my closest friends. And, this is going to sound kind of messed up. Andre, I'm more closer with Andre than I am with his brother Anthony.
Okay. And
probably because, like, with Andre, it's different because I'm able to talk to him about actual shit that's going on, and like, me and him can talk about movies, we can talk about sports, we can talk about girls, we can talk about A, B, C, and D, but we can also have like an actual conversation like, hey, what's going on with your life? Hey man, I'm just dealing with these people in my job, A, B, C, and D. Oh yeah, I can deal with that. My friend Anthony, he only really likes to talk about sports, and that's fine. Because like we all have different friends. We all have that one friend you can talk about with sports. You can talk about movies with this one person. You can talk about girls with this one person.
Right.
And then there's that one friend where you can just talk about anything. Right. So
that's usually your closest friend, is the one that you feel comfortable enough to talk about anything with.
Yeah, I've been desperately trying to get him on the show, and he refuses to be on the show. But because he's like, yeah, y'all aren't ready for me. I'm like, dude. He's like, bro, I swear, and I talk about things that are fucking dark. I'm like, have you met me before? But anyways, going back, I fall into that millennial category, and I see all this craziness going on. I'm just like, so are we just gonna live in a world where we have to give everybody a gold star? We have to watch what we say. We can't say anything that we think is funny. we have to apologize to one person, even though one out of a million people, the other million weren't that offended, but one person got offended. We have to apologize to that one person.
That's the way it looks nowadays. Yeah.
It drives me crazy. I will never understand it.
Yeah, it's not something I can completely comprehend either. You know, there's things that drive a lot of the younger generation that never drove me. You know, there's things that they want to achieve that in my generation, you know, I don't even want to say just the generation, but I just don't understand, because these are things that I mean, everybody wants to change the world. I think in some way, even if you believe in a God, even if you don't believe in a God, I think everybody wants to leave their footprint. There's something about them that maybe they don't want to be remembered, but they want to have made something different. I don't think that anybody can go throughout their life and say that they wanted to make nothing different at all. You know, there's something about your existence that you at least want someone to have felt better or worse if you're a psychopath, you know, about themselves, you know, because of your existence. And I think now, though, it seems more selfish. It seems like there's a lot more people on, like, for example, Wrestling Soup. You know, people want to see us. They want to see us on Twitch, which is really cool. And me and Joey and John are working towards getting our video show up. And they also want to see us on YouTube. And the thing is you look at a lot of these people on Twitch and YouTube, not all, but a majority of them. They're all gimmicks. They're all acts. They're anything that they can do to get recognized. You know, there was never really this kind of stuff when I was younger. Like, you know, the fucking swipe left on, you know, Tinder kind of shit. Like, these things didn't exist. Oh, he's hot, she's not. You know, that kind of stuff didn't exist. I mean, it existed amongst the groups. I mean, you'll have a group of friends that go, oh man, you see Katie's asshole? Jesus Christ. It's fucking clean as whistle. She's gorgeous. You know, I mean, that's the guys talking, and that's a small group of people talking about an individual. But now you take that same Katie's asshole and you fucking put it up on Tinder. Now there's like 1 million people judging her for the fame. She's going to get worse and worse, and she's going to degrade herself more and more if she likes that attention to her body in order to get more and more people to like her. There's a serious need of approval and acceptance in the younger generation today that I don't think existed in my time. In my time in the 90s and stuff like that, it was really about anti-acceptance. Everything was about being monsters, being different, being everything that people, I mean, even the whole goth shit that I went through as a kid, you know, as a kid, as a teenager and stuff like that, you know, the black hair and the metal coat and the fucking trench and everything and the boots. It was about being uncomfortable. I enjoyed making other people uncomfortable around me. I didn't want to be accepted. I wanted people to cross the street. And they did. I mean, 6'6" too. I mean, they totally fucking did. But that was the culture back then. That was that kind of a culture. That was that feel. You know, even with hip hop, it was very counterculture. And it seems like now everybody's pretending to be counterculture for acceptance. Like, I'm the most counterculture of everybody. Love me. You know, it's like, it's so weird. It's like they took the lessons of the past and they completely distorted it into something else. And that's just, I don't know. I don't understand it. It's an oxymoron of itself. It seems like the lessons are not good lessons. They're not lessons I want to teach my kids. Sorry, I know I got like off on a rant.
Oh no, dude. I was listening. I'm on my seat. I'm like, dude, you are like hitting the nail on you're hitting the nail on the head, bro. Like you make a lot of sense. You're just saying what you feel. You're not, and I don't think what you were doing was a rant. You were just kind of like, you were kind of giving a kind of a simple response, you know, to a question, a Mish Rant. You know, you're going A, B, C, and D. You're like, I'm going to talk about A, B, C, and D, and I'm talking about E. And you got to E.
Okay.
And I don't know. I don't think I can top that.
Well, thank you for having me on, dude. I really appreciate it. You know, I can't wait to fucking tell people about this. I do enjoy your show. I've listened to a couple episodes here and there. I got to do more to plug you. I think you deserve it. I think a lot more people enjoy it.
You deserve it.
Yes. Maybe without the clap.
Hey, man. Thank you for being on the show. I appreciate you for the compliments. I'm like, what, 60 something episodes in. I'm still trying to learn this shit.
It's all right. Like, dude, it comes in time. Dude, I mean, seriously, it really comes in time. A lot of people think that you can just learn this overnight. It's not that simple. It really isn't, you know. I mean, you do have, if you ever have questions, you know, I mean, besides you can ask me and stuff like that, but if you ever have questions and somebody's listening to the show about podcasting, literally do a YouTube search. I know it sounds silly, but if you go on YouTube, there are plenty of people that have good explanations, some good produced clips that will teach you how to edit, that teach you how to produce, that teach you how to hook up your mixer to your computer. I mean, everything. There's literally an instructional video for everything online. And there's actually, I know that there's a website that offers free classes on how to set up podcasts and stuff too. So
what is Mixer?
Mixer or Mixler?
It sounded like you said Mixer.
Oh yeah, no, I said a mixer, like your actual audio mixer.
Okay, I use Audacity to edit the shows.
No, I'm like talking about like a Mackie. Like some people actually use a hardware mixer. Like I use Mackie, I use a Behringer or Behringer, whatever the fuck they want to call it, in order to physically have the ability to turn up my volume at the same time, just with the knob. You know, I can pot you up, I can change it
so I sound completely different,
and you know.
Oh shit!
Right.
I wasn't expecting that.
I have a physical mixer in front of me that in order for me to control my audio. Some people do it internally, but I found more and more as time goes on and you're growing your show, there's a point where your equipment also must grow. You know, you do get a better mic, you do get better headphones, you do get a mixer, you do get an external recording device. You know, these are things that kind of go synonymously with upgrading anything. I mean, every podcast can literally start with nothing more than Windows Recorder and a microphone. That's how it starts. But you can get crazy with it. I mean, there are some severe, look at like Joe Rogan's setup. Look at like, well, not even Joe Rogan. Look like Alex Jones. You know, Alex Jones has a green screen. He's got like a news wire at the top. He's got like a cherry oak desk, and you know, there's actual multiple cameras on him, like actual standalone cameras, like a TV station and everything else like that. Like your audio podcast can grow to that one day. You know, there's people that sink some serious money into it, but you don't need to. You know, a lot of it is just learning and playing around and stuff like that. You know, that's the majority of how podcasting works.
Yeah, I really do need a new mic. I've had this one for a year, and I mean it works and all, but it's time to get a new mic, and I might need some new headphones.
Well, there you go. I'm actually, if you're ever interested, take a look for some MPH2s. They're the Maturats headphones. They're good bass. They're good mids. Treble is a little weak, but that's okay. You know, it's not a bad pair of cans. You know, it's a little bit bassy heavy, but nowhere near on the level of Beats. It makes your music sound much more full. And when it comes to recording and going in through audio, I've noticed that with that extra bass, I can really, you know, hear the clarity of my voice, and adjust it accordingly. And so it sounds its best. So, but, yeah, MPH2s.
Mel, look into it. Did you want to do some plugs for your? I understand you have a podcast, Mish. Is that true?
Yeah, it's relatively new. We're going into our 9th year.
A semi-known podcast, according to some.
A little bit. Right now, it was kind of funny. I saw if you type the word wrestling in Patreon, we're the first one that comes up.
Oh, nice.
We're the number one quote unquote wrestling podcast on Patreon.
Hey, you deserve it, man. Hey, you guys deserve it.
Yeah, it's fun, dude. But Wrestling Soup, for people that don't listen to us, and if you're into wrestling, it's a fun show. If you're not into wrestling, it's a fun show. We definitely go outside of the box, more often than not, but, it's random. That's the best way to put it. It really is a soup sometimes more than it's about wrestling. So, but, WrestlingSoup.com easily every Thursday night, 9:30 Eastern. You can go to Mixler.com, /WSDTKC show, and you'll see us.
Yeah, I'm again. I don't want to beat a dead horse. Mixler, for whatever reason, doesn't work for the show.
And, for you?
Yeah, and you know what's weird? For Wrestling Soup, it does that, but whenever it's like DTKC or the SmackDown shows, it works fine. That's weird.
Does it work now? Yeah, but I've adjusted it. Are you still having problems now?
Well, whenever I was listening to Sunday Morning Shitbox, it was doing that, so I had to actually go to the physical website for a Wrestling Soup and listen to it.
Yeah, the app. I mean, I don't know. I don't know why the app is causing us issues. I really don't. It's been causing us issues for a long minute. The app, I don't know. But I've adjusted the audio so that the skipping is gone. I've lowered our bit rate down to as low as it could go. So I really don't know. I couldn't tell you because the app side, it's like I have no control over the app.
I just imagine people just like going after you. It's like, I didn't actually invent Mixler,
Oh, you'd be surprised. People think I could just go in there and just start editing code and shit. I'm like, what?
Fix Mixler!
There was a guy that literally, I want to say about a year ago, maybe a little bit longer, literally hit me up saying, well, how do I pay you to get subscribed on a Mixler? I'm like, what? Like he wanted to send me, I think at the time it was $100 for the 3-hour shows. He wanted to send me $100 so that I could set up his Mixler account. And I'm like, dude, just sign in and make your own Mixler account for free. He's like, yeah, but I want to buy the 3-hour version. I'm like, well, then pay Mixler. Well, aren't you Mixler? No. You talk about it all the time. Yeah, because my fucking show is on there.
Aren't you Mixler?
That's what the name is. It's Anthony Mixler Thomas. That's what it is.
Hey, you heard it here, folks. Anthony Mixler Thomas. The debut.
Shit. Well,
coming soon to the Dreary Show. Anthony Mixler Thomas.
Oh, I've had some fun stories with fans. I had the one kid that hit me up that wanted me to send him one of my better mics and one of my better mixers. If we told that story a long time ago, people had a good laugh at it. I don't think I ever saw the kid again, but I thought it was kind of funny. But anyways, dude, much appreciated.
Hey, man, much appreciated here. Thank you for taking time out of your your busy schedule to be on the show, and take it easy, Mish.
All right, man.
Take care. All right, that was a lot of fun. Okay, I'm exiting out of there. And we're about to be on the 2-hour mark. Anyways, it's pretty early. Usually I record pretty late. But the show will be up on Wednesday. I'll more than likely upload at midnight. Or maybe after that. I don't know. But you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, same name, GRI Show. I'm on Spreaker, that's our home base. Anywhere else that podcasts are recorded, I guess. Or anywhere you can find podcasts, I don't fucking know. But anyways, Don Tony Kevin Castle Show, listen to that. Castle Chronicles, Dark Chronicles, that's on Patreon. Breakfast Soup, that's on Patreon. That's DTKC's Patreon. Texas Podcast Massacre, they just had a new episode that came out. It's about Jeepers Creepers 3. It's actually pretty funny. Architect Podcast with Derek and his friend. I'm forgetting his friend's name. They're pretty good. They're actually very good, actually. Anywhere podcasts are found. And The Wrestling Court with Julian. Julian's a good dude. Listen to him. And that's about it. Appreciate you guys for the plays and the downloads. And I will be back next week. Or maybe I'll do an extra show of the week. Whatever comes up. But take care, guys.